Okay, guys, welcome back to part four um, of my it's four parts just because of how we ended our last part. Um, we did talk about a lot of things within um, our videos. So when we when we last spoke within our administration node, under the overview option. There's an updates and servicing option there. Um, you know, I was able to finally um, uh, get the configuration manager to appear, 2409, and that's the latest version that came out. So um, uh, after a couple days of troubleshooting this, I just had some time to review some of the stuff that we did, and it finally came up. I just recently got it to appear without having to restart it. So I restarted the SMS executive service about two times, um, and that actually and then ran the check updates and this refresh about a couple times. So since we have the roll up installed, I know this was released 3 days ago. So I guess at the time when we troubleshooted it on the Friday, it still wasn't released yet. So we finally got the release. So as you can see now, it's downloading. I'm going to take this link here and give you guys some. That's not there yet. Okay, so I'm going to open up okay, and then go to 2409. Right? And I think I've already discussed all this stuff with you guys. It's the top level of our hierarchy. So to start the installation from our CAS or from our standalone primary site, which is sort of what we have right now. After the update is installed at a primary site, child sites have the following update behavior. So these are some certain checklists that we can take a look. So our child primary sites. Again, if we go back to our picture, we have child primary sites, right? So in our CAS, um, we have three primary sites, right? With you have a primary site one, primary site two, primary site three. So in this instance, you could see this is a CAS with a primary site and a secondary site, and the secondary data database replicates data to the primary database, right? So that's how that works. So if we had child primary sites installed, um, it installs the update automatically after the cast finishes it, right? So we can see some service windows for site servers. We can manually update the secondary site within the configuration manager console after the primary parent site finishes the update. I don't have a secondary site to show you, but I want you guys to kind of, you guys can go ahead and build that if you'd like, and I'll show you what to do and where to go. So if you go to sites, right, you can create a new site system role, site system server, or create a secondary site. Okay, so you can create that, right? You can create a new site, right? So select a server to use the site system, right? So you do that, right? That's an option, or we can create a secondary site with a different site code. And the following system roles are obviously installed on the secondary site server. So, if I'm going ahead and do that, you know, I can do this instead. Let's do INC, let's do IC2, right? So that's our secondary site. And we'll call that, what do we call this one here? MEMPS, so SCMEMPS2, right? So that's our secondary site, right? And then our site name would have to be this site code and site name must be unique, right? Oh, here. All right, I'm going to redo that again for you guys. Sorry about that, guys. So, um, the now I would need a second site. I would have to design a second site. So this has to be a machine. So I didn't really build a machine yet, so it won't be available. So I'd have to build a duplicate of this machine, right? Or take whatever on that machine and then just create that as a secondary site. And then the site code and site name must be unique. So the site name uh, has to contain, so this would be IC2 secondary site, we'll call it, right? For example, right? And I think this one here, I called it primary site server. I have to build a machine. So this has to be built, the site server, in order for this to work. I'm just kind of showing you how that works. And then my installation path, um, the installation folder for that would have to be installed on a remote path on that server or a second. It has to be a different path. So, for example, if I were to, let's see if I were to draw this out, for example, let's see if I can draw this out for you guys just to kind of give you guys a better understanding. I don't want to save it on my secondary site. So if this is my DC, this is my primary site server, and this is my secondary site server, right? Uh, right, these are my drives, right? My C drive, right? I think I think the way I set this up is I just gave it 300 GB, but what I would have done in my second site, I would have given it a second drive and that would have the installation path. So what I'll do is when I design, what I want you guys to do is the installation folder, right, is going to be on a D drive. So this is my D drive, for example, or E drive, right? And then this is my C drive, right? And these are physical disks, right? So these are physical disks, right? And this is going to be physical disk one, and this is going to be physical disk two, E drive, which is a physical or 5 disk uh, two, right? So that's going to be our physical disk. Okay. Right. And then we're also going to give it a NAT. We're going to give it a card here, and obviously my design is a little different, but I want you guys to kind of add a secondary disk here, right, and do the same thing here. And then for now, what I might do is because what I'm going to do, what I want you guys to do is a little bit different, but what I want you to do. So this is my domain controller, right? It's black. Okay, that's my domain controller. This is my primary site, my MEM primary site, right? And this is my copy, and this is going to be my secondary site, right? So kind of understand how the diagram works here. So basically this is going to be a physical disk C, right? Right, and this is going to be a physical disk C drive, right? These are physical disks. Obviously, we know that these are physical disks, right? And these are gonna have again 2 network cards, obviously, and your environments are gonna have 2 network cards for high availability and for fault tolerance, right? So this is gonna be an E drive. Okay. So and this E drive, I want to use it for installation, right? And logs, right? So I'm gonna again, I wanna I want to use that for installation files and log. In my, um, again, I gave it 300 GB, as you can see, right? I gave it, again, you would have a separate log. You would have a separate drive for logs and a separate drive for installation files. So I want you guys to do that, okay? So this is going to be for installation, right? I want you to do the same thing, okay? And I'm going to create two right now, and this is going to be just our OS, okay, for OS. And this is for operating system only, OS only, okay? And I'll tell you why I do that. It's just that it doesn't bother anything. It doesn't affect any issues. When we're doing the installation path, we just create the installation path. And then in this case, when we're designing it, we just need to, browse to the drive, right? So in this case, if we're drawing another machine, we can drive to our SMEMPS2, which is our secondary site, or SS2, I'm going to call it. SS, right? One. So this is our secondary site. So um, you understand what I'm saying? And then you can have access to the C drive that way, right? Right? You can have that to the C drive. But again, I don't have this machine. So what I need to do is, again, just change the drive letter of the installation folder, right, to the installation drive, right, which is our E drive. So in this case, it's E, right, right. And then I'm also going to have a logs file on logs, right, and this is also going to be logs. I don't know what letter I'm going to give it, but for in this case, I'll just give it the next letter because D is our, so this would be our F drive, and this would be logs, right? And then this would also be F drive logs, F drive logs. Right. So I want you guys to have three separate sites. In my instance, I'm going to have two, right? But I'm going to create two drives, physical disks. So let's go ahead and ignore this right now, but take this information with you, right? So that you can have, but name it the way you want to name it. Don't name it the way I'm going to name it. It's going to be based on your first name and last name, right? Or you can just say secondary site. Sorry, this is secondary site, not primary site. This is a secondary site, so I'm going to call it SS1. Right? This is going to be SS1. I'm going to go ahead and give this the name here, right? So that's what it's going to call it. I want you guys to call that NEM SSS1, or just whatever you want to call it. Um, Good practice is to do it like that, and two network cards. Make sure you give it two network cards. That way the two network cards are there for fault tolerance. Okay. And I'm going to save this. This is our on premises. I'm going to save this for you guys. I'm going to select and again, kind of understand. I have more space, but kind of understand my drawings here. I want you guys to do this. You guys are going to use the three server approach, right? And obviously, if you guys are, you can add your SQL, right? Right, your SQL servers in here, or you can have a separate server that's also SQL. So, for example, if you want to build a second server, want to build a fourth server, it's totally up to you, right? So in this instance, right, this is going to be your SQL server, right? And this is your SQL server, right? Your SQL database server, right? Or DB01, whatever you want to call SQDB01 or SCDB01, right? So I understand how that works. Again, this is what I want you guys to do, right? Um, this right here, um, you know, this right here is what you guys are going to do here if you have already have a two machine server. But I want you guys to create this one. I want you guys to create this one. So please create this server, right? And on your hypervisor 2 machine, right? Right. Okay. So I want you guys to do that. I'm gonna be doing this. This is my on premises, so this is Italia Computers Inc. 2 dot local on premises, right? So this is how my machine is gonna be. So I'll be creating another one again here. Make this triangle for you guys. So understand how that works. Again, I'm going to be using two, and this already has my SQL, and this is going to have my SCCM clients, right? These also have my SCCM clients, right? Right. And this is also going to have your SCCM clients. And this role is going to have a DP, and it's going to have an MP role installed. This one here has a MP, DP, SCP, and so forth. We can check that. I can show you guys how to check that if you'd like. Um, make this a little bit smaller. It's in purple here. Dark purple. And bold that. Okay. Right. So if I'm going back to my diagram here, um, again, this is what I want you guys to create, right? Um, you know, a secondary site, and based on the picture, I want you guys to create a third machine, right? Which is right, your third machine. I'm not going to do it, but again, you know, for now, I just want to create the two drives, and I'll show you guys how to create the two drives, right? You're going to have a C, E, and F drive, or C, G, H, or C, X, Y, or whatever letter you want to do. And again, if you have a SQL database, also create that one as well. Again, that will have your drives as well too, your C or D, right? Your three drives. Right? I want you guys to do that same concept. And then I also want you guys to create your two network cards, right? So your network cards. So this is going to be your Ethernet 0 physical by NIC physical NIC, right? Right. And then this is going to be Ethernet 1 or not, right? Right. So this is going to be your NAT, which is also our physical NIC, right? So our zero is for, remember, our zero is for um local, right? Traffic, local internet, or internet local, or VMnet 8, right? Right? Sorry, your whatever VMnet you have. So in this instance, if we go to, again, yours can be different, right? So in this case, again, I can change this at any time. I'm gonna close this. Yeah. And again, this is where you would create it. So I'm going to go to part 4. Um, this is going to be part 4, right? And this is going to be the 15th, 16th of December, right? 2024, right? So that's that. And do that. And I'm going to post that, talk about secondary site. What is a secondary site? Um, let's create one. Um, one. Um, Design a uh, uh, child server or child site server, right? Or secondary site server, secondary site. Uh, Design your own secondary site server, right? And here's my drawing here. And again, this is whatever VMNetX you want, or this can be VMnet. This is also VMnet 08, which is not, right? So, we'll kind of again, and this has to be on the same network in order. These network drives have to be on the same VMnet, right, in order to communicate, right? So on the same VLAN or VMnet in order to communicate. So if they're all going to be, again, these are all going to be VMnet XX, right? In order for them to communicate properly, right? Or local internet, right? Or we could just give it NAT, internet for internet, or for physical net for internet, right? But we don't need it. You don't really need it for internet. You just need it to download applications and stuff. But again, kind of understand how that works. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of this and I'm going to, you know, post it here as a good read. Um, right. Um, so I'm going to number these. Oh, I'm just going to do that. Okay. And then, right. So we are going to talk about that. So let me put this here. This is what we already did. Okay. This is what we've already done. Um, these are things that we've done already. And then this is what we're going to be talking about, right? And I'm going to take this picture here and, put that there. Oh, okay. So, and then again, we've designed, actually, you know what, I'm going to take that out there because we've already showed what that was. It's just this, again, a secondary site is part of the architecture. So when we talk about the architecture here, right? Our secondary site replicates data from the prime to the primary site, so it's constantly there for fault tolerance and for high availability, right? So, you can have a primary site architecture, right, with a secondary site, or you can have child primary sites, multiple primary sites, or, with child's primary sites like PS3 and PS3 and this cast site, and then have secondary sites underneath these PS2s, right? So this will constantly talk to their management point, you know, and it creates the boundaries and those boundary groups, and it tells that anything under that specific IP address goes to that site, and that way it goes to the management point within that particular site. So All the computers in that site will communicate to that site to get their policy and content. So just remember that when we're talking about. So in this instance here, Quebec City is our secondary site, right? It's got A, B, it's got two boundary groups, right? And it's got its own site code. Okay. I hope that was easy to understand. Uh, Design. Okay, so we have created one and designed one. Okay. Um, right. And yeah, so like I said, after after a day or two, because again, this if we go back to our administration node and we go back to our updates and servicing, as you can see, this is now ready to install from the download, um, from downloading to ready to install. So again, what we did was I just restarted the SMS executive service a couple times. I didn't restart the computer. I ran the check for updates and refreshed a few times. So I'm going to refresh it one more time, um, and click on that. And I'm going to not run the prereq check, but I'm going to take this link here and so we're going to talk about configuration manager 2409 in place upgrade, right? So that link there is important. If I click on that, and that should now open up the release notes for that, and this will give us some information on what's new for 2409 current branch. So you guys can take a look at that. And one of the things I said was the all spaces, the centralized search. So this box now enables the option to select what workspace I want, which is kind of cool. Um, and give me 1 second. Okay, guys, sorry about that. So as you can see, the introducing the decentralized uh, desired workspace selection, right? So this is also a good read. And if we're looking at it, there's the workspace here at the top. So if we were to go back here, right, you would be able to click here and see those options there. So again, this is ready to be installed. So I might just go ahead and install it. I want you guys to run the prereq check just for troubleshooting purposes, just so you guys get a better understanding and handle on how that runs. But I also want you guys to, I'm gonna just run the install update pack. I want you guys to run the prereq, right? To see if there's any prerequisites that are missing. And then cancel this for a second. Okay. And then once that's done, you can run the install pack. I typically, again, you can do whatever you want. I'm gonna just go ahead and click the install pack for now. And click the ignore any prereq checks. That way it avoids any prerequisite check errors. And we can always go back to those regardless of missing requirements, right? And install this update required. So this will automatically install it. If there are any prereq checks, obviously we can always go back to them and troubleshoot those later in the logs when we're taking a look at the show objects, right? So I'm going to click next. And again, features you don't enable now, right? We can, remove the central administration site or approve application requests per user. So I'm going to click that. So this is a user-based application request are now approved only for the device from where the user submitted the request, right? So that's actually something that um, is available. So these two options are available. So I'm just going to select that. So this update pack includes the following features, right? So these are the following features. As you can see, the locker manager, and we can change those features after, right? If we need to, like hello for Windows Hello for Business, VPN for Windows 10 or later, Cloud Management Gateway, CMG with Azure VM skill set, Windows Defender Exploit Guard policy, um, device health attestation assessment, PFX create application groups, task sequence. This is all grayed out. Let me check that. No, won't allow me. But again, this is select the features you want to enable now. So right now, I just want to enable this one just for testing purposes. I don't want to remove the cast site. Features you do not enable now can be enabled later. So again, it doesn't matter if I do it now or miss it. I can always go back and update these later from the update and servicing node of the configuration model. So the updated servicing node, right? Within the administration section. Okay, then I'm going to click next. This is going to be upgrading without validating. Again, this overwrites your config manager client package with the new. We did update it already in my part 3 video, and we're going to go ahead and update a new version to the 9132.1011 version, right? Um, and that's the version number, right? That we're going to be updating from here to here. So right now, uh, oops, right now, if I go to about, we are in the 2403 9128 1000 version. So I'm going to go ahead and again update these. It's gonna be a big update. So we're ready to go. And again, with the help of SCP, that helps us with our updating. So again, this is ready to go. Um, what else am I? Okay, so if we go back to uh, our design here. So so if we go back to that again, this is uh, some new options that you're going to see. The versioning you're also going to see. Our config does not support SQL Server 2012 and 2014. Now, I don't have this version. Again, If I do, I need at least the version of 2016, right? And I think I have 2202, so I'm good to go with that. Um, our operating system support added for Windows 11 24H2 and server, so this is now available, and these are added as products of lifecycle to the product lifecycle dashboard and supported platforms, right? So the boot image creations and CM on Windows Server 2025 now support the latest ADKs. Windows upgrade readiness dashboard now supports 24H2. Perfect. So if you guys are ready to upgrade to that, we also have software metering in ARM64 devices. Our OS deployment supports BitLocker and ARM64, CM Gintra application secret key renewal, which is cool. So we can now renew those. Awesome. Um, so that feature opens a dialog with the four options. So if we're going into our Entra admin credentials to renew those, so we can renew those secret keys. Perfect. And that gives us these four options of 90 days, 30 months, 3 months, 180 days, 6 months, 365 days, 12 months, and 545 days, 18 months, right? So these are the four options that we're able to go and use. Our CMG enhanced security option. So as you can see, there's an enhanced security option here, and that identifies that uses managed identities and third-party server apps to interact with our CMGs, Azure Storage Account, instead of storage account keys. So hence the storage account key access is disabled for the new CMG setup. Fair enough. And we're able to start, stop, and renew. And again, if I were to show you on here, and we go to CMG, if this was created properly, again, I need the app ID is required first in order for this to work. Um, we can discuss this in later videos. I have some great documentation on this. Um, in the future, I'd definitely love to, create a video on this, right? I'm not going to create this now, so I'm going to close that, right? And we're going to go back to our features, our updates and servicing. And again, this is ready to go. Perfect. I'm going to minimize that for now and continue to talk. The known issues within our 2012 SQL and 2014 Express Standard and Enterprise Edition to SQL 216 or later version. We have our V++ redistributable version that needs to upgrade it to the latest version on our secondary sites. Now, if our secondary sites, again, I'll show you here in add and remove programs. I need to go here. Control panel. So I'm going to do a control panel, control, and remember I put this in our notes, and in our control panel, I'm going to go to programs and features, and I should have the VCC distributable files here. Yeah, there we go. So make sure we upload those, and this is where we can download that. So I'm going to go ahead and download that for now, right? Okay, and so that's downloaded, and then I can upload those on our secondary sites. Other updates like performance enhancements, policy processing and collection evaluation, depreciated features, right? So within this version, so MDT integration with CM is no longer supported with Configuration Manager. Depreciation, first announced in December 2024, and which is this month, and planned end of support the first release after October 10th of next year, 2025. Customers should remove MDT test sequence steps, followed by removing the MDT integration to avoid TS corruption and modification failures, right? So we can definitely take a look at that link, and I'll give you guys that link um, for you guys to take a look at and read on your own times. Installing the update. So we did all that already. I'm gonna duplicate this tab here, and I'm gonna go back one. right? And that's it. So here's our post update checklist. If you guys want to take a look at that too, you're more than welcome. And again, these links I'll post for you guys um, later on. So this will overwrite our client packages, and I showed you the client update versions where right all new client installation, client upgrades uses new. So we can validate in pre-production collection. So again, you in a test environment, yeah, I recommend you guys create that pre-production collection. And in this instance, we did. So we're going to go ahead and use that, right? I don't want it to overwrite, right? So this validates the client on the members while you keep your production client package intact. Again, we can overwrite it or go on it. But in this case, I kind of do want to overwrite it. But in a test environment, you guys would want to do this first and then overwrite it. Okay. So let's just do this right now. The first option. This will accept the license terms, so we will accept the license terms and we can add expiration date. The date must be after. I don't need to do that. Um, enable uploading defender for endpoint data for reporting on devices uploaded to my, yeah, we could do that as well too. And there's our summary and our progress. We'll wait for that progress to finish. So that's a great link to talk about. Let's go back to our diagram here. So this is done, and this was complete successfully. Um, and that's it. This is installed. Yeah, so this is done. This is ready to go. This is ready to install. So I'm going to refresh, and we can actually close that now. And this will ignore the prereq warnings, which is what we stated, and this will update it to the 9132.100 version, right? So that's what we want, which is cool. I'm going to take a snapshot of this. Okay. Yeah. And again, if we right click, sorry, if we can check, we can go to the, oh, this will check the download, DPM, DMP downloader.log. We could check the uh, history here or go to the monitoring section. And then within the monitoring section, we can check the uh, updates and service status node for this to see if there's any information yet. And it looks like it's still downloading it, so we're gonna have to wait. Just wait for that to appear. Hopefully, um, in the meantime, like I said, you can restart the service, speed up the process. It's up to you. No rush. And again, this is installing. Oh, I can go to, sorry, I can go to show status here. That's what I wanted to show you guys. So if we go to the show status underneath the related object within the summaries tab, um, you'll note the information will show up here shortly. And we'll wait as this occurs. So, configuration, check for updates. It's fine. Refresh, refresh, refresh. Let's just keep refreshing for a little bit and we will wait for this to kick. Okay. Um, let's wait. There are no prereqs. So again, we're not. Oh, there we go. There's the features that are going to be um, installed in this version, which is kind of cool. Um, as we discussed when we're going through all that. So these are all the features that are installed, right? And here's a summary. So we're just waiting for the information to appear here. Start the service again. Doesn't matter. Takes a little bit of time. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video for a bit and pause this section here for a bit and go back to some of our discussions that we had. Um, I think we talked about the server manager, how to open up the server manager. We talked about the item level targeting using the GPMs, right? We didn't have the ability to do that because we had an issue with our DC. So within our DC, I wasn't able to open up the group policy management. I didn't have this installed. So this was not installed, unfortunately. So if I go down to group policy management, I didn't have it installed and I was opening the group policy, local group policy and not able to edit the specific GPs within this domain. So for example, if I had this GP, and I'm opening this GP and I'm editing this GP, within editing this GP, I'm able now to go to the preferences and take a look at the different control panel settings and window settings and whatnot and set up the printers based on a local printer or a TCP/IP printer. Now I did want to show you guys the um, preferences here for local users and groups. And if I were to create a user configuration, actually, if I were to create a device, local user and group, I would go to new and create a local user and give the name to the local user or um, right, give it whatever I want to give it and then give it a full name. I'm also now able to search for that specific user and create it an AD and set user doesn't have to change it, account never expires, and password never expires. So, you know, only we can change these passwords if we'd want, and then apply to that, and so forth and so forth. Right. So I'm not going to create that now. So that was one of the things that I talked about. We also talked about service connection points, right, and how that works. I want to discuss. I know we didn't talk about the optional and one that's recommended. So standalone SCP is optional only when there's a standalone MECM environment. So if I'm running an MECM in a complete standalone environment, um, without any need for cloud integration or modern management, the SCP role may not be necessary, right? So in this case, yeah, I do want to enable it for the testing purposes, right? And it's also optional um, for minimal cloud dependency. So if your organization does not leverage into the endpoint manager admin center or other cloud-based features that I might choose, might not install the SCP role, right? Um, so that's important to note. And when is it recommended? When is SCP recommended? It's recommended for hybrid and cloud first strategies. So, for example, if our organization has a hybrid or a cloud first strategy, the SCP is essential for integrating that MECM console with our server with the cloud services and enabling co-management within two, right? So it's also recommended for regular updates, which is sort of what we're doing here, and for usage data insights. So we can benefit from insights based on my usage data or diagnostic information as the SCP plays a crucial role in transmitting the data to Microsoft, right? So it's really, really important for that. Um, we also talked about the DMP downloaders. These are some log entries that we can look at. Purposes of the docs files. I think we talked about that in terms of data transfer, processing, and error handling. These are the specific directories. So if I were to go to here, in my C drive, I go to C, um, program files. I go to Microsoft. Oh, it's the wrong. Okay, so if I go here, apologies. If I go here, this PC, I go to C drive, um, and I go to program files, and I go to Microsoft configuration. I go to inboxes, right? Continue. So as you can see, um, there's a auth slash DDM, and that's for discovery management. This puller box. So let's see if we can take a look at those side by side. Um, right. So in the inboxes, you have the auth DDM box. I double click on auth on my DDM box, right? So that is responsible for discovery data manager tasks, right? And then we also have our dispooler box. So if we go back to inboxes, we have our dispooler, dispool R box, right? So that is again for incoming data from other site servers. So this will receive the data. Then we have our offer INF, and that offers information related to the advertisements and deployments. We also have out boxes too, right? So we can take a look at that. And we also have the file processing and how that works if we need to troubleshoot that. Then there was some SCCM DMP downloader. So that's basically the SMS executive. As I was showing you guys earlier, we did, switching between online and offline modes with that. So this will show us how to do that. Um, you know, if we need to launch we can navigate to the system component status, and we can take a look at that in our MECM console. So if I'm going to monitoring system status, monitoring system status, and what do we say here? Monitoring system status and component status. So we click on component status, and this is where our um, SMS DPM loader is. So we have to take a look at that. DMP, there it is. Right? So I can right click and I can show all messages, right? Take a look at all the messages from, let's say a week ago and hit OK. And this will give me all the milestones, right? And different issues, if there were any issues, right? We can, packages that were created, programs, queries, original queries, anything that we want, we can take a look at. So if there were any errors, we would find those here. We can then, save those, copy them, find the status message, right? We can filter, we can query information, uh, anything that we need to get that going, and we can also save that. So that's components for that. And again, there's also conflicting records and site statuses for our site status. So if we need to know if there's any issues between our SCP point, which is okay, our management point, our site server, distribution point, site database servers, anything that we need, we would come here in our monitoring tools. Okay, so that's important. So I'm going to copy that and put that in our notes. So bigger. Talk about that as well too. Right. So this is an important feature. Not in the 2409, but again, for logs, for troubleshooting, right? And site status is for SCP. So this is another one that we would want to look at, right? I want to go back to the administration and I want to check for prerequisites. I think by now we should have some information now, I hope. If we go in here, yeah, there we go. So we're at that stage now where we do have it and we can show the status and just let it report and it should now replicate. This is in the replication state that started about 4 minutes ago, where it's creating our software distribution package and updating the config manager uh, SMUP package, right? And we can check the HMAN log for that if we want, and we can refresh and wait until that's done. Um, so again, this will tell us to reboot our server, which is probably something we're gonna do. Um, this is the DP log. I don't see anything happening yet, so I'm gonna open up the DPHM. Open this up and see what happens. What's happening here? So right now we are. I refresh. I do a F5. See what happens. So this is waiting for changes. Um, okay. So that's the show status. Take this. Picture that so I have that. That's something that we spoke about as well too. Take a look at the monitoring section, and I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to take a picture of this. I want this to, and again, we can check the logs for the download, right? And the replication is the HMAN log. I think I have it open here. It should. Nothing has changed in the last 5 minutes. So let's just say that we don't have an Intune subscription, which is doesn't make sense because we do. I'm gonna refresh this and just wait, see if there's anything. So the telemetry's it's uploading the information. So I think we talked about the telemetry upload thread is starting, right? Um, so the telemetry thread, see what that is. So it just enters a bad loop. Um, hmm. So this is called looping. So that's just looping, and that'll have the, you know what, it's okay. I don't think it matters right now. So it's just starting that upload thread. Um, let's take a look at something. Give me 1 second, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep it on pause for a sec, and I will be right back. I'm just going to give it some time here. This might take some time. All right, guys, we had 2.5 minutes left. Um, it looked like it finished. So for everybody who's still wants those 2.5 minutes, you're more than welcome to take those 2.5 minutes and then come back. Um, so I like I said, I'm taking a look at the HMAN log, and it looks like um, let's see where we left off. We left off. There's a pretty big jump from four. Okay. So there's a lot that's been happening. Again, there's the update package. The GUID is not applicable. It should be filtered. Again, this waits for CFD changes to for maximum 3,600 seconds. If you divide that by 60, that's you know 60 times 60 hours is that so 60 hours or 60 minutes? Sorry, 60 hours is uh, that. And just in case, I'll take out my calculator. Um, 60 seconds is a minute, so 60 minutes is an hour, so 3,600 seconds is 1 hour. Sorry about that. So this is just checking the site server readiness for update. Um, no, this will create notification file for the configuration manager update. This is going to create a CMI file. There are update packages in progress. The cleanup will skip this time, waiting for the update changes to happen. Um, this will check pin reset certification. So wait for the changes to happen again, 60 minutes. Handle our back permissions, check if there is request. This will end the sync RBAC permissions. Handles the AIP permissions, the get user of a manage role. This will take the CMU staging. Let's see where that is. That's CMU staging. Should take the applicability checks. Right, and this will take the 24.3. AB 2829 013. So this one here, right? See if it opens. Oh, there we go. So here's the checks file. This is the file that we're checking right now, um, based on the KB. So this is the app check for that specific 2403 and KB number. This will check if anything. We should be able to execute that and see what happens. So this gives us a 393213. 393. So this is applicability hide. So this hides the information for that applicability check. So that's the folder for the applicability check. So this environment is without CMG. Well, we don't have the cloud gateway, and so we can skip that hotfix. Um, so again, this is all different KB applicability checks. So this is what that RH, this is what it's doing in the back end. Go ahead and show the status again. Still in progress right now. We can check the CMU CM update log for this instance here. Take a look at that to see what's going on. Um, let's see the CM update log. We can go to the CM update log. CM update log. There you go. You can take a look at that. And this is resolving KB data, local KB data for the configuration manager update. Um, again, this is just taking on disk watermarks, database watermarks. This is in the AI configuration. This is extracted to the program files. So let's go to the program files. C drive program files and CM. It is the AI folder. Do I have it or is it hidden? So let's see. Show. It's not hidden. Program files. CMI AI. I don't see the AI there. Okay. Okay. This kind of just checks the, that's fine. This checks the service broker, SQL objects, gets the replication tables. So as you can see, it's loading all the information. So it's working fine. So here's our CM update log. For that, I'm just going to refresh. It's going to take some time. Got a little bit of time before it goes. I'm going to go ahead and repause the video and I'll be right back. So I just want you guys to take a look at the different logs for the update pack installation status. It's important to note that when you're reviewing these logs, you can using the cmtrace.exe tool, obviously, and I showed you guys multiple ways on how to download that. And I will give you guys the paths again here on where to download those here. So here's the paths again, and remember, hopefully, you guys have already installed it and you showed and reviewed the assignment. I want to thank everyone that has done that already. I appreciate that. Hard work is is recommended, right? It's commended and appreciated, right? You know, just like when you go to a job interview or you were in a job, right? So going above and beyond is always a great um always a good task, right? Your especially when you're working with your client and you're on a job, um and you're completing that job, right? So this is where you would download it from the client side if you're on the client machine. On the server side, you can download it from the program files uh, tools box, and I can show you that in a second. And you can also download it from the CD retail um, configuration DVD CD, right? And that's in the SMS setup tools, right? And then you can find the cmtrace.exe folder there, file there, right? So you can open it at that. So so again, this is all CMU tracing, right? So this has the staging. I'm gonna put the note of that. Um, so so what this does is it adds everything in the CMU staging folder, right? So that's important, um, right? That's an important path, right? So that's important for you guys to note. So that path is important when you guys are troubleshooting. I'm going to uh, highlight this here for you guys. It's important. So that's an important path to note, especially when we're talking about um, the CMU staging folder, which is also important. So if you take a look at the logs, you know, it'll add and remove or default, right? It'll add those. If it has the same or newer version, it'll skip it. So if it doesn't, it'll remove the byte order marker after reading that. So you could see that's important for those for that GUID number. So if we were to go to the CM, uh, if you were to go to C program files, within the program files, you're going to the MCM, right? And then within the MCM, you're going to CMU tracing, staging, sorry. And then you're looking for that 3B, right? 7B, this one, right? This one here. So if I double click on that, that has the order marking for that, right? So that's what that is. If I were to, that's what that has, right? Back here. So as you could see, that's what that is, right? So if I click on this one, same thing, it has different files and folders. In this instance, that file there, 37B, right, is this looks like it's the backup for that specific instance, right? So as you can see, that is important, okay? Because that holds those files in there, so you could see the log, um, removing the byte order markers from that log, and skipping it if there were new versions, right? So this is going to continue to go on and on and on for that specific GUID, right? And it'll create those XML for Androids and whatever binaries that has. So it'll delete the external binaries and overwrite existing versions on that within the redistribution. So for example, this one is the NDP file, and that is like a redistributable file, redist. So we can take a look at the CMU staging folder on that. So if we were to go back, we'll redist. So right now it's working on the language packs and it's working on um, the NDP. So it would be this application here. So again, it's just updating the your CM version of it. So it's updating that version and deleting any external BIOS to ensure the file overwrites any existing versions. So that kind of helps, and then it copies the files in the scripts folder, right? And then again, this copies, deletes. It's just an upgrade, and then that'll delete the external binaries to ensure metadata to ensure the files overwrite the existing versions, so that it updates the CM version. That way, we're up to date. This also copies files in the bin64 folder, and that will have our VC cred distribution file, which is up to date to the up to date version, which is 14.28. Here's again, that's part of the that same GUID, right? And it'll keep going and going and going. Again, if there's a file mismatch, um, it'll let you know. So this one here is just, again, file is up to date. Versions, it'll update those versions. And again, this is all done through the CMU staging within the MCM uh, program files, MCM, CMU staging, and then the GUID number. So again, just keep going. We can keep going, going. This will continue to update that, and it'll delete any external binaries to ensure the files overwrite, right? So that'll keep going. Um, as you see, it's still going. So this is language packs right now. Uh, so it's updating the language packs for that specific version. This isn't really important. That's it. And there you go. There's our bin folder. So it's slowly adding, it's slowly updating everything. Any UTF-8 files. So that's a readable file within the C program files, Microsoft Configuration Manager /bin/64. So that would be bin x64, right? So that's that. That's updating slowly to the new version of Configuration Manager. As you can see, that's our component, and that's the update component for that. And again, if you want to take a look at the update component, you'll go to our component status. And if there's any issues, it'll tell us, right? Because it's renewing, it's probably uh, removing old data, right? And it's going to it's going to create the new data again for us. So we'll just wait on that. As you can see, everything is still going. All right. Check for updates again. Um, so again, I'm just going to continue to refresh. So it's reported an error. What happened? So let's check the details, and it is SMS reported an error. Installing files required for the update. Check CM update. So if we check, so it's missing. There we go. So that finally came back. So it's just rebooting itself after I ran the SMS executor. So if I click on that and go back to my show status, hopefully should continue to install. So there's my my package GUID, right? So it's slowly updating the package GUID. Um, there we go. So we're back at the installation progress, and it completed that step for installation. All right, and again, we can take a look at the different CMU update logs for that. Right, so this installation takes a look at the HMAN logs for the services and the C for the installation. So this is for services, for updating services, right? For the configuration mode. Right? And I'm gonna put that there so you guys understand how that works. Um, put that. Okay. All right. And I'm going to give it 20, 20, right? So, we're gonna check the HMAN log for that. All right. So that's just for updating the service. That's fine for all the services or service, right? So we're going to use that HMAN log. And again, we have it open at all times. Or HMAN log, obviously, we're looking at the different time slots. If there's any changes, we can always, again, open it and close it to see if there's any changes on the app check locks or the applicability checks, right? So part of your CMU staging. Um, this instance is, no, we're not using the dmp.bloater log. If we go back to our logs, we should have our hman log, right? We're using our CM update log. Sorry about that. So our CM update log would be for our installation, and this has been updated. Still is updated, right? So as you can see, it's copying old boot image packages, right? So if we go to this path here, it'll update the package on the whim, which is good. This will also attempt to export the image from the ADK source file. Um, you know, it's version is set up, full version is that. It's going to delete the Google registry, create the inbox source registry key, and slowly update that to the latest version. So let's take a look at um, the WIM file. It's going to update the WIM file. So I'll update the WIM file. Right. So, so OSD. Okay. And I'll access the OSD. Double click and so forth. So As you can see, this is still going. And let's give it a refresh as it's installing the services. No changes yet. Don't see any changes yet, but it's updating the boot image and ADK source installation files. Or to refresh that again. And I think it's starting the WMI provider. We'll wait for that. Hopefully that shouldn't take long. So what I want to do is put this on another pause. And I'm going to put timer. I'm going to give it another 10 minutes. All right, we'll add another 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and start it, and I will be right back. Welcome back, guys. I am now I've gone ahead and waited for the um console update to uh update itself to the new version. So to kind of review what we have here, these are the different logs using CMS trace tool. So in the beginning for the download stage, of that. We use the DMP downloader.log for anything to do with replication is the HMAN log. Installation was a CM update log. Post installation, we have the different site comp log and SMS exec log to look at, and examples. Obviously, we're going to look at the examples. And we also have our CMP update log, which is monitoring the replication initialization of the database. And then we have our updates and packages like client folder on the site server, CMC reproduction packages or client packages, and any turning on any features, we'd use the HMAN log. So there you have it, guys, as part of the download replication post configuration tasks when updating the pack installation status, right? So it does take a little bit of time, a little bit of patience, guys, when we're doing this kind of stuff, as it's important to note. And I'm going to post that picture here for update, and hopefully um, feature requires you to close the configuration mask and console, close all open configuration consoles and try again. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close anything in the task manager if there's an issue. Remember, we started that um, Microsoft console. There's nothing there, so that's good. There's the management console. We can close this on task. I don't need the console. Console, I don't need that. Task that, and task that. So I don't see any Microsoft endpoint configuration manager console apps. So it's going to go ahead and install. So we will wait. We're at the 2 hour mark. So hopefully installed correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and open it now and see what happens. We're going to open up the services just to make sure all the services are open. See all the services. Restart some of the services there. SMS services. So I'm going to go ahead and start that site back up. Start the VS Writer. And start the SMS agent host. Start the SMS executive host. And all the other SQL servers are running, so that's fine. Are all logged in, right, with the new password that we changed. And it looks like the new version uh, is available, and we are working in the old console, right? And we're going to install the new console again. So let's go ahead and do that. Looks like it's working here. Okay, so we'll just wait as it loads. So that's the run. What I did. Okay, so there you go. So this has been installed. Let's see what happens. Okay, so let's go ahead and wait for this Microsoft Configuration Manager to console to gather the required installation information and install it. Shouldn't be any issues. Cross our fingers. I know we're a little bit past the 2 hour mark, but this is a great series for you guys to take a look at it live from start to finish and get all the benefits in it. Because it is important to understand how that works, right? Especially when you're updating the console and um, the version. There's a lot of benefits here for you guys, especially taking a look at all the benefits and different issues that arise or problems that you might see, right? So it's kind of cool. So we are installing it after the second time. Just probably takes a little bit of time to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, welcome back. So that's a good. There is our changes here, as we noted. So, which is good. I can do a search now and whatever I want, which is okay. Um, you know, gives me all the workspaces that I need. So I'm going to go to the administration section and the updates and servicing node. And there you have it, guys. 2403 is installed. I'm going to run a quick check. And we are at the proper version. This is the new update, right? And I'm gonna click on the show status. Right? Oh, let's notifications. I'm gonna close the notifications area and I hit the show status. And I just want to take a look at the show status here for that GUID. And it looks like everything is ready to go. Um, we're still looking at the replication configuration monitor component on the site server. It looks like it's still in progress, but the application is completely installed. There's a few things that we need to check. We can check the site comp log. So we can go ahead and check the site comp and the SMS exec. So I'm going to open up both log, right? And do the SMS exec, SMS exec log. There you go. And we can take a look at the different components here. Um, I should be able to open this. See if I can open this with CM trace. With okay, there we go. So as you could see, it's still loading here. It looks like there aren't any issues, so that's a good thing. Um, it's signing the DLL files with the mscert root, and then it's signed and trust. So there's your AD user discovery DLL file, so that's good. I'm also going to go to hierarchy discovery methods, and I'm going to run a forest wide discovery now. And I also want to run a user discovery. And I also want to run a system discovery for any changes that happened. So if I go to my assets and compliance, devices, uh, devices, right? Uh, Control R. And I'm going to use a shortcut for that. Control configuration control. Components, actions. There you go. So there's all my, I'm going to run a machine policy retrieval. Um, so there you have it, guys. Um, okay. And there you have it. Awesome, guys. I appreciate it. It looks like we're almost there. I'm just gonna end it from now. There's not really much um, to do here, but let's go to the about, and I should be at 24.9. So there you have it, guys. Using the SCP, we've gone ahead and service connection point. We're able to um, update the versioning as noted. Um, so it's a little bit smaller here. So what we talked about what a secondary site is. We talked about let's create one and design our own secondary site. I didn't go ahead and do it, but again, I want you guys to do that. I'm gonna create two disks for you here, as promised. I'm gonna create an E and an F drive. So let's go ahead and do that. If I haven't done so yet, let's see what are the settings here. This isn't hot swappable, so let's see if I can add a disk. Yeah, let's add a disk. We'll add a SCSI disk, create a new disk. Let's just give it 250, right? All right, finish. And I'm gonna give it another disk, right? Next, 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 250. And again, one is for the logs, one is for the installations. And I hit next and finish. And I'm gonna hit OK. And this is gonna go ahead and, well, this should be done off. So this will save the configuration. So we'll wait till that finishes. And we're almost there. Go ahead and update that. So there you have it, guys. Essentially, what you would do is once this should have been already turned off, and then create them, and then turn them back on. Then what I want you guys to do is go. Then what you guys would do is go to your comp management. So you would go to your comp management, computer management, computer management, and then open that. Right, and then once you open that, um, our version is updated. So that's was our goal today, and then based on that, just create two disks, go to comp management, turn them on off online, initialize the disks. You can actually set them up as RAID 1 or 5 or whatever you want to set them up as, even if you want to do that. And, create, when you're creating your secondary site, your server, your create your secondary site in the same server. You can do that, or if you want, I wouldn't. I would have obviously I would have created a new server for that, and with 3 drives and same OS server version. And once that's done, you initialize the disks and rename them to um, logs F drive, and then E drive would be installation, right? So for installation and whatnot, you would rename that to SCMECM secondary site one, and if it was the second one, you'd add it to two, or the code, or whatever you guys want to name it, and that's it. Again, I want to thank you guys for all the time that you spent today. I would leave this up for questions. Um, I'd like you guys to, feel free to message me on WhatsApp. Um, Tell me who you are, first name and last name, what your country code is. Again, this is the only way I'll accept any questions, not just hi. And, you know, I need to know who you are, first name, last name, legal first name, legal last name, your country, location, where you're calling from. What do you like about this video? What are your long-term goals when using the SCCM MECM console, and questions about the assignment or snapshots. Again, taking snapshots, sort of like what I did. That way you are not my snapshots, but your snapshots with your name in it. Um, and then you can share those in a Word document, and you can share it through your OneNote sheets, whatever you guys want to do. It's all the way up to you. And hopefully you guys are, liking and subscribing, right? Because this is also important. So please like and subscribe my videos, right? Please, share them with friends and family. You know, that way you guys are, you know, watching and paying attention. If there's any issues, please let me know. I've had a couple people go message me and saying, hey, we found this, and this. I totally appreciate that. Everybody makes mistakes. Again, this is live. This is a live video. It's unscripted, unedited. Um, you know, I write the notes as we come. The pictures, as you see, everything is as is, right? So this is notes that I've done for today. Drawings also done today. What we've already done, again, in the last part 3 series, we've talked about. Again, watch those videos if you don't know. And we functional level. So this was all functional level stuff. And again, that's about it, guys. I want to thank you all for joining this video. I hope this session was informative. If you have any questions or comments, again, like I said, please feel free to message me on WhatsApp or add me to my WhatsApp group channel. That channel will be posted in the video description of this part 4 video and parts 1, 2, and 3. Again, thanks a lot, guys. Take care. Let's see, actually, did it finish? See, this is still going. So again, remember, computer management, initialize these 2 disks. And then once you're going back to, before I finish, once you go back, when you get to this part here, guys, right, when you're creating the secondary site, you're creating a new machine, right? It's a new server machine. So it's a different machine with today's date or whatever you want to call it, secondary site. Right, and then give it the name, give it the site name, similar to what your primary site is. Right, so it would be, mine would be inc/ic2, right? That's my new code, right, that I want. Or I can have Canada and US. I can do whatever I want. I can have a secondary site for Canada. I can have a secondary site for US. I can have a secondary site for EU, or whatever. But the installation folder for the secondary site needs to match the drive, the drive letter for the installation, right? So any logs would go here, and any drive installation will go here, right? So typically everything is installed in my C drive, right? And we're slowly trying to, you know, remove, move all the drive installations for that. So that's which kind of avoids having to install everything in here, right? Right. So again, this is what I want you to do. This is going to be a third machine. You guys are going to have 3 machines right now. You're going to have that primary site and your secondary site with the roles. The different roles, I think there were more roles. I wanted to kind of show you that as well too before I forget. I know I mentioned that. It's okay. It's hot swappable. And okay, that's okay. I'm going to power off the machine. I'm doing R command prompt, and I'm going to do a shutdown slash T slash R slash shutdown slash shutdown. Full shutdown and restart. Nope, I just want the shutdown. So slash H. So I'm going to do a slash H. S, sorry, slash S. And that shuts down the computer. All right. I'll close this. I don't need this anymore. But again, this is the site comp log before I forget. And I will open this site comp log. This needs to be opened with that. So again, please feel free to read these, right? This is based on the inbox directory. So I'll post that stuff here because that's those are the changes, the last changes that are happening, right? So these are all the box channel, and I'll put that here. The site comp log, and I'll put this here. Right. Right. So that's the path. These paths are important to note for the site comp, right? And then our SMS exec, obviously not too much, but take a look at it. You guys can read them, the different paths, and open the paths to kind of see where this all goes. Your assignment is to kind of do that, and your assignment is to try all of the above steps, right? And um, take pictures or snips of each step, and learn how to read the logs, right? Right, and where to open the logs, right? or to open CM trace tool to read the logs, right? So this is important for you guys. And again, this is an assignment. Please feel free to message me, send me them. I appreciate everybody who's done that so far. I'm open to um, your feedback. Um, so again, please give it a try. If you like it, that way show me that you've done it, and I'll definitely appreciate that, right? I offer full courses, guys, so just make note of that, okay? So if you guys are interested in a full course, please message me, and I'll let you know. So I'll give you some more information on that. Um, Other than that, I'm going to shut this off, and I want to thank you guys again. So again, once that's done, um, you know what? Let's just do this. I got time. So what I'm going to do is shut this machine off. So I'm going to shut it down. So I'm going to hit Command Prompt, and I'm going to do shut down, and add. I'm going to add the two drives. Oh, this has to be in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go to System32, uh, Windows, System32. I'm going to look for the Command Prompt tool. CMD HILM. Here you go. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to run as admin. I'll click yes, and I'm going to do shutdown /S, and I'm going to shut it down. There you go. Close that. So that's done. This is going to shut down. So as we're waiting again, this goes to the computer management section, right? So we're going to create, and again, this has to be a separate machine, right? You're going to create a 2019 machine, um, or similar to this. So this is OS is 2022. You're going to create the same OS version, right? So when you're looking at the picture, I'm going to try here. Right, so the version has to be similar. So the OS version, right? The OS version is Windows 2022, right? So that's the server, Alt X. So this has to be same server, sorry. On top of that server is going to be the applications, right? Or the RSAT features, right? So this one too. This one is going to be OS server 2022. This as well too has to be 20 server, right? And this one here too has to be a 2022 server. So on top of that server, you're going to install your OSs, right? So remember, these roles are already installed. This already has the MECM console installed. So this is off. I've installed the two drives. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to power on this machine, right? And again, once you're in here, you're going to disk management. You're going to see the different disks, and you're going to initialize those disks, right? And then you're going to initialize those disks. And once those disks are healthy and partitioned, You're going to rename them to installation and one logs, and then you can go ahead and do that installation. Okay. At 37. Yeah. So let's do that. Again, thanks a lot, guys, for your patience. Again, I hope this was very informative for you. It should have been easy to understand, and you guys are following along. Again, create your notes. Get your notes ready. That way, you have your notes with you, especially if you're being asked any questions and whatnot. So I'm gonna wait for this to finish. Load my machine. Well, I'm not going to create a machine for that secondary site, but I'm showing you how to. And I hope you guys create your own and share your own. Remember when you guys are creating it, you can use your operating system for Windows Server 2022 or 2019 if you guys want. It's totally up to you. Or even 2025, it's totally up to you. Or 2025. Again, it's totally up to you what you guys want to use um, when you're creating this machine here. Okay. Right. And I want to take a look at the different rules. I know we have our MP or DP or SCP site system rules. There are the mandatory rules that should be installed. I also have SQL installed here, and I have my MECM installed on top of my operating system. And I also have the client. This is the client. That's the SCCM client, right? These are clients. Um, and this is all in my on-premises. Again, you can also have a fourth website where a fourth machine where your fourth machine is your DB. You don't have to, but again, you can if you want to. I have my SQL installed here, right? Just to save time. And again, you have your drive installation and your log installation when you're installing that, right? So here that is. I'm going to log into this machine. I changed my password, so I'm gonna type in the new password that I used. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that in for you guys here. Load it, and I'm gonna go straight to the um, computer management section. Uh, I want you guys to try this on your own. This is loading. Just give it a second. Give it a second, guys. Again, when you're creating the machine, you can give it the same the secondary site, you can give it the same memory, same processor, same hard drive disk space, same adapter configuration, um, right? And then connect it to the same. So again, I'm using a 2022 standard evaluation edition. Uh, you're also going to do the same thing. So I'm waiting for this to finish loading all the binaries. Once that's done, should be able to go ahead and open up the server manager. This will open up the binaries. Important files and binaries I need to load. This is all important stuff. Don't need. Just load. All the roles, features, binaries. Take a little bit of time. There we go. Slowly. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to minimize that. Um, to open. I'm going to open management console. Enabled. Um, okay, so go here, configuration manager, and I'm going to run as admin. Next. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if it allows me to, right click here, open that. What I'll do is I'll put this um, to the start menu, to the taskbar, pin to the taskbar. That's pinned. And then let me do remote viewer yet. Okay, so this is opening. Let's go back to the administration. Let's just review one more time. There's our installed feature. Uh, so this has been updated, guys. Just to let you know, this has all been updated. Um, to the new version. Right, this is the new update. It's been released on the 13th, so that's when we got the release. So that's good. There's my notifications. Okay, so we're gonna go to computer management. So I'm going to do a Windows R computer management, right? Or let's just do mmc.exe. Yeah. So it's always good to troubleshoot above and go above and beyond, especially when you're trying to figure this stuff out. And it's I think this is from an old Intune account that I had. I had some policies that I didn't remove. I didn't remove them, so they expired and they're still there. So unfortunately, there's nothing else I can do. But I'm going to add this feature here to this computer, and I'm going to. This is local. I'm going to open it. All right, I'm going to go to disk management. And you'll see my two disks, right? So I'm going to put them both online. I'm going to initialize both disks online, and I'm going to initialize disk 0 first and disk 0, both of them. There you go, right? And I'm going to give it a simple volume next, all of it. And I'm going to give it E, and we said E was installation, right? So we'll give that E and we'll call it installation, right? And I'm going to click next, next, and finished. So that's done. And then the same thing for this one. And we're going to call this a new log. And next, F, next. And I'm going to give this a logs, right? Next and finish. And that's it, guys. That's basically it. So now when I open this and I go to my uh, sites, my site roles, right? These are all my site roles, right? So these are all the roles that are, I'm gonna copy this for you guys. I'm gonna take a copy of this system. So these are the site system roles that were installed by for me. I'm gonna copy that. I have 9 roles installed. And this is gonna go on my, just gonna make this a little bit smaller. Oops. This, right? And this roles here are going to go here, right? So these are all the roles, okay? And I'm going to select the full page, cut, copy, right? So those are the roles that have been installed. These are the mandatory roles or optional roles. And again, if I want to add an optional role, I can add a site system role. And these are the available options that I have. So again, let's go next. Next. Right, so these are the rules. So I can go ahead and install these rules, but I will in another video. Again, I want to thank you. This is my next video. I'll probably do. I'll install some of these roles and go through all the roles and different roles for this server. And hopefully, I'll probably install a secondary site by then. But I want you guys to do that as an assignment, right? So I'm gonna put that here. It's assignment. How to read the logs and create a secondary site server, right? Right. With the same OS server version, your DC and MECMPS server have, right? So, um, again, thank you very much, guys, for listening. Here. Okay. Please go ahead and do that again. Thank you for your help, guys. So now if I go back to my file explorer, here's my E and my F. I should have my E drive and my F drive, right? So never want to install, especially when you're installing your MECM, you always want to install your installation, your log files, anything that's important here. Um, if you need more info, you need more space. Again, you can add more space. Just make sure your disks are your server has enough space on it. Obviously, I'm not gonna fill up the whole thing here. These are slow. They're just the way it was created. I showed you earlier on, right? So you're going to settings and you're adding a disks. You're adding a new hard disk, right? And you're gonna click next, and then you're gonna use the available disks. Again, SCSI's recommended for when you want to add it powered on, but if you are powering it off, NVM disks and IDEA disks can only be added when the VM is powered off. So these are only hot swappable. This is the only hot swappable disk that's recommended to use when you're adding that specific type. But if you are adding different types, you're more than welcome to turn the VM off and then add that sort of like what I was doing. It does take time, right? So again, because the files do expand. Thank you very much, guys. I would also, in this case, I would also upgrade the memory, an extra 8 GB, 24. But again, 16 is good for now. I don't see any lagging issues. Um, and that's it, guys. Thanks again. I appreciate your time. Have yourself a uh, great rest of the week. Thanks.